What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to That Girl Casey. Just want to put out a disclaimer. Anything that I say is used from the internet and the Fair Use and Dealings Act. I hope I'm saying it right. These are all public information, public knowledge things that I'm using, okay? So if you have clicked this video, please just remember to hit the like and subscribe button. I just don't want you to forget before you leave. You could just hit it now and everything would be okay. If you already subscribed, that's great. But if you haven't, just go ahead and hit it now. All right? All right. So, how terrible. So today I woke up and I had already expected that, Larry was going to win. You guys know I voted yesterday. Of course, I voted for Chuck Peruto. Larry Krasner did win 69% to like 31%, something like that. So I already knew that. But I was still in a good mood. I was still pretty and even now still pretty refreshed and just amazed and happy about some other results that came through. I was also watching for Virginia. I said, let me see how it goes in Virginia to see how people are really going to vote in Virginia. Let's talk about first the candidates in Virginia. You had a Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, who was already the governor and was up for re-election. And then you had the Republican Glenn Youngkin. So at first, I wasn't really, all right. So in the beginning, I wasn't that hardcore paying attention to Virginia's elections until some different things happened in the news. And I was like, wait, what's going on? So just to recap real quick, if you watch MSNBC, CNN, whatever, they were talking about that there was all these parents going to school boards and they were like terrorizing the school board members because that's like pretty much how the headlines were going. But the problem is that's not exactly what was happening. It wasn't just parents are just going in and just yelling at school board members for no reason. So remember last year we had a pandemic, right? So a lot of kids stayed home and instead of going to school, they did virtual learning. And a lot of parents were hearing certain curriculums that were coming out of their child's classes and they weren't that happy with them. There's a certain curriculum that everybody is calling critical race theory, but I call it critical race praxis. And I will make a video in more detail about what critical race praxis is. They're also teaching kids things like you could be any gender you want to be, just if you think that way. And, there's like 100 and something genders when that's not true. It's only two. Biology is still biology and chromosomes are still chromosomes, okay? So in that kind of thinking, they were saying that if a child identifies as a girl, but they look like a boy, but they identify as a girl, you are not to tell them that they're not a girl. And in fact, they could use the female bathroom. And so here's what I'm getting with the school board meeting. There was a parent in, I believe it was Loudoun County, who was at the school board meeting, and you'll see images of him being arrested, trampled, and everything else by the cops. And then you have Joy Reid, like, look at these white supremacists, these Trump supporters. They just come and then they just cause havoc because of their white privilege. I don't even know what any of that. Like, that already sounds crazy. Like, so you really believe that people out here just like, yes, there are bad people out here, but like, you really believe that people just go in a school board meeting and be like, I'm white privileged, so I'm going to just act up? It's a bit much. So the actual background story, when of course Fox News actually interviewed that father, he said the school board had made this comment like, yeah, we have gender neutral bathrooms, but nobody's ever been hurt because of that policy. So dude went off because he was like, my child was actually sexually assaulted in the bathroom from a kid who identified as a female and went to the girls' bathroom, and now she got assaulted. And then y'all moved the kid to another school and he did the same thing. Y'all try to put this under the rug. So when dude was about to get up and be like, what you mean this never happened or whatever, get the cops on him, sick him, okay? And so they trampled him and he couldn't even get a word in edgewise. I saw the footage. It looked pretty disturbing to see how they were like tussling with this man on the ground, like just because they knew he was gonna say like, yo, y'all lying. And in fact, it was a lie because the people of the school board, they ended up I think a few of them ended up resigning. Okay, so this is like a real problem. But instead of our government saying like, yo, man, all right, we got a little bit of a problem here. We might have we might have messed up. The head of the FBI, Merrick Garland, decided to say, if a parent goes into a school board meeting and they disturb the meeting or they act up, they're going to automatically be labeled as a domestic terrorist. So now you got the Democrat, Terry McAuliffe, who was like, I'm down with that. I mean, and he basically was making statements, which I'm not quoting him exact verbally, but he was like, parents don't need to get that much involved in what's going on in schools because they're getting in the way. And so it's more of the feeling of like, basically when we have your kids for 9 hours, like, don't worry about all that. Like, we got them. So that automatically, any parent who hears that is going to automatically feel like, what you mean? Like, that's my kid, right? So of course, Glenn Youngkin is like, who is a Republican, feels like government shouldn't be that much involved in people's personal lives. So that's like the Republican like stance, basically, for the most part, and how it should be. I mean, you can't trust anybody, but they don't believe in big government. Okay, so you see how with all the mandates, with everything going on, like we kind of feeling the decisions that are taking place in the White House kind of come straight downhill to our backs. So of course, Glenn, now after that happened, you started seeing the polls like started to go favored more towards Glenn Youngkin. And Terry McAuliffe felt this coming, so he initiated the assistance of Grandpa Biden and, of course, Obama, who all couldn't save him because parents must have got to the polls. Nobody expected Virginia to flip Republican. They didn't, because they haven't in years. And today, I am happy to announce that Glenn Youngkin is the Republican governor of Virginia. And that is a very beautiful thing to see, because it shows, stop messing with people, and definitely stop messing with their kids. Stop lying. All y'all do is lie. Y'all get on mainstream, y'all lie. That's not being taught. There's no problems in the schools. Everything is fine. No, that's not true. And this isn't just about a white supremacy thing, because there's numbers reporting that like the highest percentage of the race that's leaving the school districts is black people. Black people are saying, I've had enough. I just recently read a headline that in Chicago, thousands of people are leaving them public schools. They're leaving them. They're homeschooling. People are homeschooling. People are tired of paying taxes into nothing. Like, you pay your taxes and then the public school is indoctrinating your kid. It wasn't always like this. It wasn't. But it's certainly getting like this now. Also in New Jersey, and back to Virginia, take a look at the lieutenant governor of Virginia. And she was voted in too. Beautiful black woman. And I got 2 pictures showing up. Her and her husband. And then you see that other picture showing up. She got that hammer. I had to kind of like fudge it just a little bit because I don't want to get caught up. But sis she's 2A. She's not playing. She's serious. You could tell she's serious about hers. I mean, I don't know everything about her, but you could tell the way she stands. She's serious about hers. And then I believe they elected a Republican attorney general who's Cuban. If people not looking at all this like color or diversity, if you, I feel like, are a stand-up person and you present yourself a certain way where you're like making sense to people, I think for the most part, I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm going to say at least 70% to 80% of people are going to be like, yo, man, just give me the person who's giving it to me straight up. And that's what we saw in Virginia. Because dig this, New Jersey, Democratic Phil Murphy was up for re-election against Jack Ciattarelli, Republican. And I remember thinking, like, that's not going anywhere. Last night before I went to bed, Ciattarelli was up. And of course, now today, I can't find any numbers. All I'm seeing is headlines saying it's too close to call. Why is it too still? What's going on? Because when I went to sleep last night, Jack Ciattarelli was up, which I was really shocked. I didn't expect that because I just didn't expect it. I didn't even look to New Jersey. So it is showing that people not falling for Democratic lies, Democratic promises, mandates. Yeah, because PV, this like a news channel that they like catch people. It's not a news channel, it's like a news organization. And so they catch people slipping. They put people like in places where they spying on certain people, and then people just like give up the tapes and don't realize that they being recorded. So anyway, they had like the tapes on on Phil Murphy's campaign manager, like his Spanish one, I guess is diversity one. I don't know. She was saying like, "Oh yeah, dude, he's definitely gonna put on the mandates. He's just waiting to win the election. Once he wins the election, mandates are coming." So maybe people saw that and was like, "Yo, chill." I don't know. I never expected New Jersey to start looking like it was getting ready to go Republican. I did not expect that. So I don't know. As of right now, it is now November the 3rd, 1:14 p.m. when I'm putting this together, and they still haven't finished counting. They're like, we have to, it's too close to call. Gone are the days, huh? You know, I remember, I don't know, maybe if anybody else is old enough to remember, there was a time when, election was Tuesday. It was Tuesday. You get your ballots in by a certain time. If you didn't get them in by that certain time, then you just saw it and you didn't vote. And then we would know by the morning for sure. XYZ. This is the president. This is the governor. This now it just seems to be so normal that we're all the way into the afternoon of the next day, and we still don't know what's going on in New Jersey with their governor. That is unacceptable. And so so now the whole talk is, oh, we gotta keep voter rights and defend voter rights. Voter rights doesn't mean get your ballot in as late as you want, count ballots whatever time you want, or let's just mail in a bunch of ballots, and then whenever we receive them, everything is all over the place. Because all of a sudden, New Jersey, they can't figure it out. And it's the next day in the afternoon. I am very proud to say that one of my votes actually went through. I was like, what? And I'm proud to say, but I'm also a little shamed because I did the exact thing that I tell people not to do. Not to say necessarily the exact thing, but I'm just going to keep it real. So we voted in a Republican Supreme Court member here in Pennsylvania, Judge Kevin Brobson. Judge Kevin Brobson. So I'm not going to act like I even knew who he was, all right? I did the whole Republican down ticket thing. It is hard for me to keep up with everything, and I'm trying to get better at it. My focus was Larry Krasner has to go. Larry Krasner has to go. I didn't even realize it was a Republican running for anything else anywhere else. I didn't even realize what else we were voting for. So I didn't even get a chance really to look at any of the candidates for anything else. I was just, because of the crisis in Philadelphia, I feel like that's going on. I was just like, yo, dude gotta go. But this guy, Judge Kevin Brobson, was running against Judge Maria McLaughlin, and she was a Democrat. So when I listened to her speak, really, it's not about just parties. It's just she actually didn't even sound bad. So I think we would have been all right with whoever would have came on. But I did do the whole down ticket Republican voting because since I didn't know. So for me, this is what it was. It was like, since I don't know who these people are, I'm not going to not vote. I was like, I'm just going to vote Republican because you know what? Somebody's always getting them. I was like, it's just safer for me that way. I don't want government in my life. And I know that is at least one stand that Republicans take. I know with Democrats, everybody's talking about equity. I'm not an equity fan. I'm not. So since I'm not an equity, I'm an equality fan, definitely. But an equity fan, to take something from one person and give it to another, simply because this person worked hard enough to get it, but this one didn't, keeping it real, I don't care what color you are, that's not fair. But they do it and say it's for fairness and justice and whatever. No. So I'm like, I don't want none of them policies. So if I could not have them in any fashion, I'm just going to vote for a Republican who I know is not about that. Who I know believes in, if you put in your hard work, then you get to reap your benefits. That's it. I don't know, dude. I'm not trying to be his friend. I'm just saying that's how I think. Leave me with my life to make my own decisions, okay? Because again, I have to keep bringing it back to mandates because that's an equitable thing, right? To make sure everybody's jabbed, so when they go to work, it's equitable. Judge Brobson. So anyway, I was like, well, let me at least see who he is. It's a tough vote for him. So after the fact, so he wants to bring back like faith in the judiciary system across all boards. Okay, that sounds cute. That's more like, to me, that's like one of those like airy comments you make. Like, I just want faith in it, like it's just one of those like, I'm gonna just say that because it sounds good, kind of thing. But he probably feels that way. But I'd be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean, for that one. But he also believes in reentry programs for prisoners, and I was like, I, I'm so cynical sometimes. But I was like, what was it? What you trying to? Why are you doing it? And I was waiting for it, like, because it's just fair and equitable. I was gonna be like, oh, dag, but no. He believes in re-entry programs for prisoners with like healthcare and like finding them places to live and stuff. He was like, and he said because it reduces recidivism and it saves costs. And he's right. He is right. And look, dig this. I believe in those things too. I just don't like when people advertise it like it's something for black people to be happy about. Like, they give us prison reform and say it's black justice reform. I don't like that connection, but I do believe that we should have re-entry program for prisoners and stuff so that they don't go back to jail. Nobody wants nobody to keep going back to jail. And he said it like how he meant it saves costs. Okay? So of course, the Power 99 or whoever was so hyped, like, you see, y'all didn't get out there to vote. I will say that the polls were empty. They definitely were empty. And so he's like, but one of the guys, Mike Dredd or whatever, and now we have this Republican on the Supreme Court. Don't be mad when your brother gonna get 25 to life. Don't come here. Like, how is that even an okay comment to make? How is that even, like, you see the connection? Do you see the connection? So because now, okay, there's this Republican here who's going to be a Supreme Court judge, all your brothers are going to go to jail for 25 to life. Or maybe my brother doesn't do crime, or I don't know personal people who like are into crime who are going to get 25 to life for, things that didn't include murder. I don't know people like that. I just feel like it's just to say that, like, it's already like, oh, well, we can't save you now. That's the only way to save black folks is to make sure they don't go to jail by reducing jail time. Oh, the biggest one. So in Minneapolis, that's where the whole George Floyd thing happened or whatever. And you know how everybody, defund the police, defund the police. And what a lot of people don't know, after they did all that exciting, everybody marched on over everything for down there for all that. A lot of people don't know that area, they called it George Floyd Square, and then it got barricaded off by Antifa, and it became a no-go zone. It became like a shutdown zone. Like, these people basically took the residents of that area hostage and told them that cops can't come in and stuff like that. These residents have been screaming and crying. They've been like, yo, man, I can't get no business out here because these people, they put barricades up, all in the name of Black Lives Matter. Okay. Well, guess what? When they asked the people of Minneapolis, do you really want to defund the police and start doing community policing? They voted no. When you are living in that kind of war zone jungle, 9 times out of 10, you just want some law back into the situation, and you just want some form of safety back into the situation. I commend them people for keeping it real and voting no. They voted no. So that says a lot. That says a lot. Everybody who's on this hype, defund police, bad police, but y'all not out here fighting crime. I'm not out here fighting crime. So I commend them for that. There was one more question. There was a question on a voting ballot about legalizing marijuana. I did say yes, because people do get caught up with little pot or whatever. When I say legalize, I'm not talking about, a whole movement where you pushing weight, but yeah, legalizing. I mean, I don't see that as something that should keep somebody in jail forever. I'm not insane with my policies. I just want murderers off the street for the most part. I do. I really do want murderers off the street. So I just wanted to recap the voting, how it went, what happened, and what we're waiting for. We're still waiting for Jersey. So leave a like on this video. I said, if you made it to the end of this video, you might as well go ahead and subscribe. You must like my voice. You must like the information. So go ahead and subscribe. Give me some comments. Let me know how y'all feel about just everything that I said. Tell me what you like and what you didn't like. All right. And I'll see you guys at the next one. All right. Bye.